If you are watching this video, we assume that you have bought or intend to buy a Cuisinart 14-cup food processor. You sure do need to know how to make the most out of this kitchen appliance. This brand of food processor is the next best innovation for the modern kitchen. Cuisinart is a brand that is synonymous with kitchen appliances. The company is known to produce top-quality products, and the Cuisinart 14-cup food processor is not any different. If you are a chef with ample space for this appliance, this product is best for you. It has a motor of 720 watts, a very large feeding tube, and very sharp blades that are made of stainless steel. If you are cooking for a large number of people, you will find this appliance handy. It is perfect for chopping vegetables and whole fruits, kneading of doughs, shredding of cheese, and much more. Modern food processors have been upgraded to do a lot of things. These include grinding of bread to get breadcrumbs, fruits pureeing, grinding meat, and great tasting milkshakes. Also, if you have a recipe that requires chopped nuts, you can pulverize the nuts in your food processor. We know that your kitchen may already look overcrowded. However, the food processor will replace the functions of multiple utensils. These include a whisk, knives, garlic press, grater, and pastry cutter. By using the food processor more often, you will save time spent on chopping and shredding food manually. Let's discuss how we can use the Cuisinart 14-cup food processor. Chopping of raw veggies and fruits. 1. Cut the vegetables or fruits into 1-inch pieces. To have a food that is evenly chopped, the pieces should be of the same size. 2. Put about 3 cups of the chopped food in the bowl of the food processor. Replace the cover. Ensure it is well placed and locked. 4. Press the pulse or off button at a rate of 1 second on and 1 second off. Do this until the fruits and vegetables have been chopped coarsely. 5. After that, hold the down button and allow the food processor to run until the fruits and vegetables are finely chopped. 6. To prevent over-processing the food, check it frequently. 7. Using the spatula, scrape down the pieces sticking to the food bowl's sides. Pureeing of fruits and blanched vegetables. 1. Cut the fruits and blanched vegetables into 1-inch sizes. You will have a very smooth puree faster when the size of each piece is equal. 3. Add 3 cups of the fruits and vegetables. Ensure that the cover is locked and well placed. 4. Pulse the machine to chop the food coarsely. 5. Press down the on button and continue processing until the fruits and vegetables are pureed. This procedure excludes cooked potatoes. They usually have some gluey texture after being processed using the stainless steel blade of the processor. If you intend to make soup, you need to cook the vegetables in the liquid. Avoid adding the liquid into the bowl of the processor. All you need to do is strain the liquid and puree only the cooked vegetables. You can also use a slotted spatula or spoon to remove them. This way, the vegetables will puree smoother and faster. Afterward, you can pour enough liquid that will make the pureed vegetable pourable. Pour it back into the soup. Keep stirring to allow it to mix properly. Sometimes, pieces of the fruits and vegetables may get stuck between the bowl and the blade. When this occurs, unplug the food processor. Remove the cover, carefully remove the sharp blade, and take out the piece that was wedged. Subsequently, remove the contents of the bowl and fix back the blade. Put the cover in place and ensure that it is locked. Press down the on button. While the processor is running, drop the pieces of food through the feeding tube. Continue adding until you have exhausted 1 cup. After that, you can add the rest of them into the processor's bowl. Chopping of solid foods. Bring out the processor's small pusher and press down the on button. While the processor is running, drop pieces of the food into the processor's small feeding tube. You can drop smaller foods such as garlic in the whole form. Large foods such as hard cheese is to be cut. Each piece should be 1/2 or 1 inch in size. You can use this processing method to mince garlic, onions, and shallots. Coconut and hard cheese will have a texture that is the same as when you hand grate them. It is important to note that if the cheese is too hard that a knife cannot cut it, do not place it in the food processor. If you do so, you may end up spoiling the blades of the processor. Chopping of fresh herbs and parsley. Clean the herbs, bowl, and blades thoroughly. After that, pat them dry with a paper towel. Remove the stems of the herbs. Put the leaves into the food processor's bowl. Process them till they are finely chopped or to your preferred texture. When you chop more herbs at once, they come out finer. If the herbs were very dry before being chopped, they can be stored for about a minimum of 10 days. Keep them in a storage container or bag that is airtight. Store away in your refrigerator and keep frozen for several months. Chopping of poultry and seafood. 1. Ensure that the food is not frozen, but very cold. Cut them into pieces of 1-inch size to enable them to process evenly. 2. Add 2¼ pounds of the pieces into the food processor. 3. Press the pulse or off button 3 or 4 until you get your desired consistency. Do this at the rate of 1 second on and 1 second off. 4. The texture should be checked often to prevent overprocessing. Using a spoon or spatula, scrape food pieces from the bowl's sides if necessary. Kneading bread dough. If the dough is very stiff and cannot knead comfortably with the hands, do not put it in the processor. Doing so will strain the appliance. When the dough clears the sides of your processor's bowl and takes the form of a ball, let it process for about 1 minute. After that, turn off the appliance and check if the dough was properly kneaded. Usually, bread dough has a soft and pliable texture. It also feels slightly sticky. To test if your dough was properly kneaded, stretch it with both hands. If you feel it is hard, uneven or lumpy, keep processing it. Continue until it gets a uniformly pliable and soft texture. Ensure the blade is firmly fixed after taking out the dough for testing its texture. Kneading dough for brioche, coffee cakes, and batter bread. Process the dough for about 30 seconds. This should be done when all ingredients have been incorporated. Unlike bread dough, this type may not clean the sides of your processor's bowl. Use a spatula to scrape inside your processor's bowl if necessary and continue to process for about 5 seconds or more. Place the dough in a big plastic bag. The inside should be lightly floured. Squeeze the air out of the bag and seal the open end using wire twist. Remember to make provision for when the dough will rise. On the other hand, you can put the dough into a spacious bowl. Coat the inside of the bowl with vegetable oil or soft butter. Roll the dough around the bowl, to coat the entire surface. Cover the bowl using a plastic wrap that has been oiled or any clean, damp towel. Allow the dough to rise. Make sure to keep it in a place that is warm, having a temperature of about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The dough takes about 1½ hours to rise. However, depending on the flour you used and the humidity, it can take about 45 minutes or more. Stick one finger into the dough to check if it has risen to your desired level. If it is not okay, you can allow it to rise some more before checking again. When it has risen to your desired level, punch it down. If you are facing any challenge when trying to knead the dough with your Cuisinart 14-cup food processor, refer to the user manual. For slicing and shredding small, round fruits and vegetables. Before processing large berries, mushrooms, and radishes, trim both ends flat using a knife. Put them through the feeding tube. The down layer will give you the perfect slices if you want some for garnishing. But if you need perfect slices, you can process them layer by layer. Did you try using your Cuisinart 14-cup food processor with the ideas in this video? Tell me how successful it was, in the comment section below. Click the subscribe button below and turn the notification on, so that you will know once we post a new video. Do not forget to visit our site, www.zimfoodprocessors.com for more food processor content like this. Thank you. When they feel cold enough, drain the water and dry them. Arrange them neatly in the feeding tube. They should be kept horizontally and should fill up the tube to around 1 inch from the opening. Use the processor's slicing disc for this activity. Ensure that the processor's small pusher is locked. Allow them to stand in the feeding tube. Cut them side down and slice. Use firm pressure on the processor's pusher.